Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today, um, as you can see, the topic for this video will be all about fantasy creatures, mythical creatures, and all of those, um, spiritual, um, not in our three-dimensional world existing um, creatures or beings that we're not able to see, or at least many of us aren't able to see them, or we haven't found them. Um, that depends on what you believe. And this topic for this video comes from the 31 days of witchcraft um, challenge, or the tag 31 days of witchcraft, which was created by Heather Carter. I will have a link to her video where she explains the tag, and where she will go through all of the 31 tags of this or topics of this tag of this series. Since I don't practice a lot of witchcraft, I looked at the things that were interesting to me or have a meaning to me, and where I can talk about it and have my own opinions and share those experiences, opinions, just a little ramble from my perspective with you guys. And this is the second one that I did. The first one was the video with animal spirits, and now this one, and there will be one, two, three ones of that tag that I have planned to do also. And today's question was, do you believe in fantasy creatures such as dragons, fairies, unicorns, etc.? So I've gone through my decks and looked for those creatures, so that we have something beautiful to look at. Um, I believe not necessarily in like that there are mermaids or fairies or unicorns or dragons or anything like that, like dryads or phoenixes or even angels. I did put angels in here too, even though angels are a little bit different than like the fantasy creatures. Um, they're not, they come from a religious based background, where like mermaids or unicorns are more like created for for fantasy genre. At least um, that's the way that I know it. I'm not sure if there are any religions that have created mermaids or anything like that. Probably there is, because some goddesses are in mermaid form and stuff. So that wasn't intended to be disrespectful or anything like that. But for me, they're all actually not the same, but there are differences between these different creatures. Um, but I view them like they have the same base, I guess, because I don't look at them as like they are depicted, or as like um us humans have depicted them and look at them, or think how they look like or what they be, like a mermaid with a human body and then the fish tail, or like a unicorn with like it's like a horse with a horn on it, or like fairies being most often depicted as like tiny little things, or even human-sized creatures with wings and stuff, or even if it's going in the more earthy based way with fairies, with their fairy ears and stuff, or dryads being actually half human, half tree, or anything like that, or the typical depiction of angels with like that they look like humans with those typical angel wings and coming from of heaven with heavenly robes on them and stuff. That's not how I see those creatures or how I believe that they exist. I don't believe that there are mermaids in that form out there, or dragons in that form, or unicorns, or fairies, or anything like that. I don't believe that. It could be possible because who knows what humankind um, hasn't discovered yet. But for me, this doesn't fit in my belief. For me, these creatures exist in form of energy. So they're not there. For me, there are different types of energies that we can enter into, draw from, even from ourselves if we need those energies around. And or there are energy beings or energy creatures around us that will help us sometimes, or that we can ask for help or draw from them or from those energies. If we're willing to acknowledge them, accept them, and ask them and believe in them. So what I mean by energy beings is like I don't believe that they have any physical body, or those energies aren't bound to any physical shape or form, or to just even one form of being or one type of look. Actually, it's just free flowing, pure energy that exists, and that is purely that can even appear to some of us and show um, to some of us that we can tap into, that exists, but that isn't bound to one form. It can appear in different shapes, or even just as light, or as um, warmth, or something like that. But it can also take a little bit of shape, which explains for me why some of the humans have those um, depictions or those beliefs how a mermaid would look or how an angel would look, because that type of energy did take on maybe a little bit more of an abstract form of the way that we depict them today, and the humans, so that the humans can recognize them or can work with them um, more in an easy way, for us to recognize something if it has a, a, a form or a shape that we can resonate with, than if it's just free flowing energy that we can't get our minds around, really. So that's how I believe fairies and mermaids, dragons, unicorns, phoenixes, dryads, angels, and all of that stuff exists, or what I believe that they are, what they are to me, and how I work with them. So fairies are more of those earthy element energies. They're very wild, they're very instinctual, they're tapping into our into our roots, into our instincts, into our core of our being without those social beliefs, how things need to be or must be or anything like that. Dryads are more kind of those tree energies, ancestor energy, as bringing stability, connecting with ourselves, with our roots, grounding ourselves, that trust, that stability in ourselves, and those kinds of energy. Very wise also. Phoenixes, for example, are for me fire energy, transformational energy, very powerful, changing energy. Um, Dragons, very wise and a mixture of earth and fire, at least for me. Unicorns, very unique energy that I just started to explore and to work with because, or thanks to Lisa over at Supportive Tarot. Thank you for bringing me to unicorn energy. It is really powerful and really unique. Um, and mermaids, water energy, going deep down inside, emotional intuition, all of that kind of stuff. Very helpful, taking care of you, love, relationships, and all of that stuff. Angels, more air energy, higher self kind of energy. Um, so that's how I see them. And that's why one of the first decks that I got was this angel deck, because I started my deeper spiritual journey with angels actually, because I read a book about them that was written by somebody who was or is able to see them and to connect to them. And she described her journey with working with angels and how angels are, or at least show themselves to her, and it wasn't like those typical angels that we will see in churches or anything like that, human beings with angel wings. It was like those, their pure energy, their free flowing energy, their light bulbs. Sometimes they can take on different forms and appear to us in different forms. And I love what this deck does. It depicts angels, but in a very abstract kind of way, more with like colors and light and energy. And sometimes you can see like an angel body with angel wings, but in a very abstract way. And it's more about, there you can see it a little bit directly, but it's still more about the energy. And you really get a sense of free flowing energy that appears to you in a specific form, that you, so that you can recognize it and put your head around it. And that's what I think, not only are angels that way, but all the different beings, spiritual beings that are out there, um, exist in different ways of energies that humans depict in a different, or in a specific form, that we would imagine that energy would look like, to wrap our heads around that more easily, because we humans need something to that we can take a hold of, and so it's easier for us to depict them in that way. So a little bit of rambling about my beliefs in fantastical creatures, spiritual beings, those different kind of energies, how I work with them, what I think they are, and all of that stuff. I hope it made sense. in the end, what I was trying to explain to you and ramble on to you, let me know down in the comments, do you believe in some of those beings, or maybe even in all of those? How do you work with them? And what are your beliefs about them? How do you depict them or imagine that they would look like, or what they are actually or essentially? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to all who already did subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.